Right, welcome to my first ever watercolour and pressed flower tutorial for a small card or a painting. As you can see, we've got some pressed flowers here. I've also just picked some flowers out of the garden. I do tend to just use my own garden flowers that I actually just pick, and I do encourage little weeds to come in the garden so that I can actually press them. This is a little weed, which is, I think it's called Herb Robert, which presses beautifully, and I think I think this is a little bit of yellow weed. I need to find out exactly what that is called. I think it's a bit like a sort of daisy thing, actually. We've got some other, oh, this is a little daisy here. We've got geums, and we've got a geranium, and these are the oxytalis, which I've actually got a little oxytalis in here ready to just show you how I go about it. I thought I'd actually show you right from the beginning how it works. So this, and it also shows how the colours differ, so when they're dried. So this little flower ended up being that little flower. You can see a total difference how it's changed. They changed differently, you know. I'm not sure how. This is all the joy of it. It's one of the joys of watercolour. You never quite know what's going to happen. So as you can see, these two here didn't quite make the cut. So some work, some don't. It's all a learning curve. So this is the little finished product that I'm hoping to sort of show you how I built this up and to paint something similar. It won't be exactly the same because no two flowers are the same. Watercolour is very difficult to actually make exactly the same, and you don't want to. You want each piece of art to be individual. So these make, I find, lovely cards to send to people, and they just seem to work lovely. And do you know what? They're a lovely thing to do yourself. I find it. I've just been out now. I've just picked, looking at the flowers, appreciating the beauty of such simple things in life is a joy. And you know, sometimes in this world, right at this minute, it can be quite difficult. So just having something lovely to colour-wise to look at, to just pick delicately and then press forever is, I think, is a lovely thing. So this is how I go about doing it. I don't know if it's the right way, it's the wrong way, but it's the way that I've actually found it seems to work for me. I've got a little, this is just an old sketchbook that I've got, the back of it, and I tend to, this is a little geranium which I got, it was a smashing little buy. It was being thrown out of the, we've got a B&Q near us, and it was on its last legs in the clearance, and it's absolutely stunning. It's been a beauty. So I've cut these and then also cut the bottom section of it, the little stalk, and then I'm just going to place it on and just place these flat. And as I say, it is all a bit of a learning curve. Some people I've seen, you know, you can look on the internet and see what other people are doing, and they take all the petals out, each petal, and then do them separately, and then they press each one separate and then obviously put it all back together, which is great. I might have a go at that, I'm not sure. Might be quite nice in winter maybe. So that's my little geraniums done. I haven't done these ones before, and this is another little great little find from B&Q clearance, and these are gorgeous. So I'm not sure how they'll come out, but I think they'll come out quite lovely. So I'm just placing these in, and then I've got these little tiny little ones. I find that these seem to, this type of flower seems to press quite nice. This is like a little rockery plant that usually comes out in April, and it's now come out again in August, which is great. I'm just going to put that there a minute. I'm just going to cut the very end off because it's quite It's quite high, is that? So I'm just going to snip that off. You've got to be careful when you snip them off, because if you snip them too low, the plant falls apart. Another one of them. These are new actually, so it'd be quite nice to see how they come out and what colours they come out as. And then obviously I've got my little oxtalis. And then these are great. If you've got any geums, this is a geum. And they really do press beautifully. So, you know, these are geums. These are the darker, they're called Mrs. Bradshaw. This is actually an orange variety, is this one. So I'll just turn that over, place it flat, try and get all the petals in. I think I might just be able to fit. I'm going to try this, I'm not sure how it's going to work. This is a little cosmos, which we grew from seed. Again, a lovely thing to do. To think that, you know, I'm hopefully going to, I've grown it from seed, and then I'm going to, if it'll sit properly, that's it. And then I've got a cornflower. They sort of work and they don't, but they do a little bit. If you get what I say. So I'll pop him in there. Right, and then I'm going to just close the book and come back to it in about a week. And what I tend to do is I then put a load of books on top of it. That's my presser. So that's how I go about doing it.